Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
Okay, so we're gonna start with our legs up over the chair. Have your looping resistance band and your yoga block just kind of nearby. We're gonna do a little bit of diaphragmatic release. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play around with a little bit of preparatory work to try to get the body to get a little bit more vacuum in our diaphragm. And then, so we're gonna do a little bit of abdominal massage, a little bit of diaphragm release. We'll do a vacuum down on the ground, and then we'll come up and do a little bit more work. And we're going to play with adding a couple of diaphragmatic vacuums into like a lunge, but it's going to be supported lunge, because I really want for, especially for you where we have like little subtle imbalances, to start to notice, and then you'll know what directional pull feels really good, so you can add a little bit of asymmetry in to make little pulls that feel good to your body, to your rib cage, to your diaphragm. So we're going to just start to play around with it, but using the chair to offer us support so that we can find the work, rotate in it a little bit, lift hands a little bit, but just using the chair so it's going to support us under our butt and our legs. All of that being said, come down onto your back. Kick your legs up and over your chair. Take a second here just to get comfortable, get your tail comfortable, get your shoulder blades comfortable. And then of course, make sure your feet feel like they can kind of relax into the seat of the chair. And then once you get comfortable, once you've got all your little wiggles worked out, hands are going to find the curve of the ribs. And we're just going to start by focusing the breath into the rib cage, but you're going to think, breathe down to the bottom of the rib cage first. So you're going to fill up the bottom up to the top. So think, fill the big busty bottom and then let the air fill up into the collarbones. Hands at the curve of the ribs. Take a breath, but breathe down into your hands. And then let it fill up to the top. And then exhale nice and slow. Inhale, fill bottom to the top. And then if you can, in reverse, exhale top to bottom. Inhale, bottom to the top. Exhale, top to bottom. Take one more breath. Okay, now we're going to take our hands and we're going to start to do the little walk down the curve of the ribs. So go over to the right side curve, and then we're just going to push the fingers in and walk up and down. So we're just looking for a little bit of give of the diaphragm. So let your belly be slack best you can. So no firming up the belly. If it already firmed up because you just started touching things, take a second, smush, smush, smush your abdomen. Just say, hey, baby, relax. And then once you feel like you can let those abdominal muscles be a little soft, then you're just going to walk those fingers up and down the curve of the ribs, gently pushing in, looking for a little slack, looking for a little bit of give. And then if you can, where the curve of the ribs kind of comes along the side of the body, press in there as well. Look if there's any tension. Side of the rib cage might have tension at that diaphragm, and the diaphragm connects in the back of the rib cage as well. So we want to start letting the diaphragm have that looseness, have that slack, noticing any places that there might be a tension or a gripping, and we don't do anything about it right now. We just want to kind of be self-aware and notice right, and then once you've walked around that right curve just enough, now take it over to the left, just walking the fingers up and down, looking for a little slack, looking for a little give, going as far down the curve on that left side as you can so that maybe you walk a little bit into the side body. Okay, take one more walk up and down that left curve of the ribs. And now we're going to grab the tissue of the abdomen. So you're going to I could get a good handful, right? So we're going to grab and pinch and roll. And I'm going to move my sweatshirt up just a little bit so you can kind of see. So we're grabbing the skin, the connective tissue, the adipose tissue, and we're just picking it up, pinching it in our fingers. So we're just giving it a little pinch and roll. What we're looking to do is coming back to that idea of just encouraging a little bit of softness, a little bit of looseness. We often tend to hold a lot of tension around that belly button area. So we're looking to just teach ourselves how we can let that go. And I'm going to walk up and down to the belly button line, maybe slightly below the belly button line, grabbing the tissue, giving it a little pinch and roll, walking across. Get any pinch and roll that you can find. For me, the tightest place of my fascia is like right around that belly button line. So yours might be different. You might notice that there's different places where there's a little bit of tension, there's a little bit of tightness. So we're just walking around, pinch and roll, looking for that softness or encouraging a little bit of softness to come into play. All right, take one more pinch and roll. And you know, the skin might get a little tender. It might get a little bit of redness to it, especially if your fingernails are a little bit long. So just know that there is times when it feels like, okay, that's enough, just because of the fingernails or just because of the tenderness. Give it one last soft, smushy wiggle, and then bring your hands back to the curve of your ribs. Take a breath, expand your rib cage. Try to maintain that expansive shape of the rib cage. Exhale, let the belly be soft and let it just sort of deflate underneath the ribs. Inhale, fill your rib cage up. Try to maintain that open shape of the ribs. Exhale, nice and slow. Do that one more time. Inhale, fill up bottom to the top in the rib cage. Try to maintain that expansive shape of the rib cage. Exhale, nice and slow. All right, now hands are going to release from the rib cage. Just bring them down alongside the body. Take it into pelvic tilt, but our feet and our legs are going to stay connected to the chair. So it'll feel like a kind of a subtle movement. There's not too much going on, but just bring it down to that lower part of the body just to kind of move away from where we were just working for a second. Give everything a break. Pelvic tilt, press the low back down and release to the natural curve of your back. All right, one more pelvic tilt. And then walk your feet in a little bit closer so that your legs feel a little bit more active. Feet are a little dorsiflex, so heels on the ground, but the toes and the balls of the feet are pulling towards the shins. Once you found your way there, we're just going to push into the heels. Lift your butt up slightly as if you're trying to slip a piece of paper underneath your butt, and then lower back down to the ground. Push into your heels, lift your butt up like you're trying to slip a piece of paper underneath your butt, and then lower back down. Do that one more time. Push into the heels, lift your hips up. So you're just trying to, it's really small. It doesn't need to be a lot. You just want to feel like our muscles get engaged, and then lower down. Now keep that idea of engagement of the muscles in the legs. Press gently down into your heels. Create a little bit more length in the spine. Maybe even pick up your head and just kind of wiggle upward like you're doing that rib cage climb. So we're just going to pick up the head, create a little bit of traction, lengthen. And then once you found a little bit more length or the idea of length, a little energy into the legs, hands on the rib cage. Now we're going to take 3 cycles of breath. And at the last cycle, we'll do a diaphragm vacuum. Inhale, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, nice and slow. Inhale, fill your rib cage up, press gently into your heels. Exhale, create length in your spine. Last cycle of breath. Inhale, fill your rib cage up. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, close off your nose, mouth, and throat, or pinch your nose closed. If you pinch your nose closed, once you get that plunger effect, keep your breath, but release your pinch of your nose. So your hands are going to find your rib cage, and then you're just going to see if you can help encourage just a little bit more give in that vacuum. So see if you can find your vacuum. And then use your hands to help encourage just a little bit more depth in the vacuum. So you're just going to walk your hands in and just kind of help push that diaphragm up under the ribs just a little bit more. See if you can find that bit, hold it for a moment. And then when you feel ready, when you feel called to do so, break the seal, let the breath come back in, take it back to pelvic tilt, press your low back down, release to the natural curve of your back. Nice. Take one or two more pelvic tilts and then bring your right knee into your chest. Just give it a little squeeze, a little knee circle. All right, and then set that leg down, switch it to the other side. Left knee comes into your chest, a little squeeze, a little knee circle. Nice. One more knee circle. Now we're going to step our feet down. So our feet are going to frame the legs of the chair. So we've got this nice wide position with the legs. Once you've found your way to that wide position with the legs, bring your hands wherever they feel the most comfortable. So they can be up above your head, in front of your chest, out to the side, wherever they feel good, where they have a little space to just get out of the way. And now we're going to take 3 hip bridges with this wide leg position. So you're going to exhale, push into your feet, lift your hips up away from the ground, squeeze your glutes. Notice your knees, and your knees don't want to buckle. So we're going to lower down, but the knees are going to stay in a good steady position. Watch that they don't buckle or wiggle too much. Exhale, lift your hips up. Avoid the wobble in the knees. Keep the inner thighs nice and active. Squeeze your glutes, lower with good control. Exhale, lift your hips up. Hold just for a second. Watch your knees in your peripheral vision. So we just want to make sure those knees don't buckle in too much. Lower your hips down. And then this time, prop into your elbows, sit yourself up, take your time as you sit up, and then scoot your butt back, step your legs out even wider. Look for a little bit of that stretch or stress in the inner thigh, and then just fold into the chair for a second, but think legs are a little bit active. So pinky toes are kind of pulling backwards. Take a nice big breath here. All right, and then lift yourself up out of that fold. Grab the backs of your knees. Help your legs come together. We're going to reposition the chair, and we're going to reposition our looping resistance band. So as we come on up and around, move your chair and take your looping resistance band and put it around the leg of one leg of the chair. So we've got it around the leg of the chair. And then when we navigate on our chair, we'll just kind of turn ourselves so we get both legs doing the work. So get that looping resistance band on, and then put one foot into the loop. And then I take a second to get it all flush because I don't like when it wrinkles up on my skin. All right, so then what we want is to sit in a nice stable position so that your knees are in line with your hip bones. So that might look just different on each of our chairs, just depending on how you got your looping resistance band around the leg. So get yourself squared up. So hips are squared, knees are squared up. And then if you wanted that little cushion underneath your leg, here's where that towel would come into play, where you just kind of prop it up under so that it feels a little bit elevated. But if you get there and you're like, that doesn't work for me, then just push it off to the side. So we want that slight elevation if we can find it. You can hold it or you can cushion underneath. And then you're just going to find this knee hinge. So you're going to push the foot forward, come back in, but we want to avoid letting that leg wobble. So we don't want the knee to buckle in or out. So the focus is keeping the knee straight. How far you kick out and how far you come in. just go for good control because the looping resistance band is going to create that tension. We're getting the front of the thigh muscles to work. We're keeping the inner thigh slightly active to hold that leg in that good position. Go for 3 more if you can. Nice. And then once you've done about 3 more, unloop your foot, take a second, give it that little shaky shake. And then we're going to switch to the other foot. So then you'll have to navigate your chair in the way that makes the most sense. Foot in the loop, straighten it out so it feels comfortable. And then we square ourselves up. So we get our knees lined up with the hip points. We keep our hips nice and square and level. And we keep this nice long axial extension through the spine. So we're sitting up nice and tall, eyes on the horizon, pick up that leg and start to hinge from the knee. Keep the knee steady so it's not wobbling in or wobbling out. Go for 3 more if you can. All right, and then once you've done about 3, release your foot from the loop. We're going to release our loop from the chair. So just pick up that leg, unleash that loop, and now we're going to take the looping resistance band. It's going to come all the way up around our thighs, and we're going to use our yoga block. And then how you position the height of your yoga block. I like low setting, but medium setting might feel good too. So step your feet into your loop, bring it all the way up around the thickest part of your thighs. Take a second once you get there just to get it all straightened up, make sure it feels good. And then we're going to go yoga block on the ground. I like that low setting. You position it where it feels good compared to your chair and the height of your body. And then we're going to walk our feet together. So you're going to go big toes together. You're going to go for this nice lifting up spine. You're going to sit up nice and tall and straight. And we're just going to start to push those knees out. We're going to go for 5 here with this tall spine. Okay, now we're going to keep that long spine, but now we're going to lean back as if we're trying to let our shoulder blades find the back of the chair. So now we're leaned back, the core muscles are going to kick on. And now we're going to do about 10 here in that leaned back situation. But if you get here and your back's like, oh, that kills me, then sit up taller. But if it feels okay to be here, keeping long in the spine, keeping the belly nice and firm. And my hands are just out of the way. So your hands can be wherever you want them to be. They can hold on to the chair. There's no right or wrong. Heck, they could be on the outsides of the thighs, creating more resistance, whatever you like. Oh, I lost count. We got to start back over at 1. No, I'm just kidding. Go for 3 more if you can. All right, keeping that band around our legs. Walk your feet off your block. Take your block, pass it over to one side. Now set it at the tall setting. And now we're just going to do the pick up and tap. So you're just going to pick up your leg and take a couple of taps. So now we get a little bit of elevation. We get a little bit of work in the hip flexors as well as the adductors and abductors. So we're getting a little bit of a different shape, but still going to feel it in the inner thighs, still going to feel it in the fronts of your thighs. All right, one more time here. Set that foot down, pass your block over to the other side, tall setting if you can stand it. And I say tall setting because that works okay for me, but medium setting might be better. Like it might, your height, your chair, your band, all those things considered. So you always just make yourself comfortable where the work happens for you. Go for 2 more if you can. All right, and then set your leg down. Get that band out from off of your legs. Kick it across the room. Tell it your true feelings. Give your legs a little swish. All right, and then once we've got all that worked out, now we're going to pivot around. So you're just going to pivot so that we get a little bit of a 90-90 lunge. Now my chair is slightly tall, so this I'm already at this like kind of edge of where I can kind of find a lift, right? So just depending on your chair, how far and up and down you go, but we're going to find that position. You can hold on to the chair. There's no right or wrong, but we just want that push off where our butt hovers above the chair. Can you hold that hover for 3, 2, 1, let your butt touch down. Do it again. Pick up your butt into a hover, hold it for 3, 2, 1, set it down. One more time. Pick it up and hover, hold it for 3, 2, 1, set it down, swivel through center. Shoo, take it over to the other side. Now we're going to go back to that side, but for right now, 3 feels like enough. Get your 90-90 lunge. Make sure you feel stable. Hold on to the chair if that feels more comfortable. Lift up and hold. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, touch down. Pick it up and hold. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, touch down. Pick it up and hold. Hold for 3, 2, 1, lower down, come back through center, swish, 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 just to kind of let that go. And then find your seated mountain pose. So toes and knees pointing fairly forward, a nice upward lifting spine, hands down at your sides. And then just for a moment here, come back to your breath. Take a big breath into your rib cage. Exhale, grow a little taller in your spine. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, lift your heart and fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale to soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches up for a twist. Release that hand, catch hold of your knee, bring your knee to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. Release back through mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, lift your heart and fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, soften down, left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches for a twist. Bring that hand down, slide up the shin, bring knee to chest, bring your nose to your knee. Beautiful. Release that foot down. Now we're going to pivot back to our starting side. So you're going to pivot back around, find the 90-90 lunge, keep your butt anchored on the chair. The leg that's low, that arm, when we go, we're going to go into our nice frame of our arms, and then the leg that's low, that's going to go up, and then we rotate towards the low hand. So get stable in your seat first, get your legs so that they really feel confident and strong. Go into our Athena arms. So we frame in front of the body, fingertips pointing in towards each other, palms facing forward. And then just imagine you're pushing out into a hula hoop. So we're keeping this really strong frame. Now we're going to go the leg that's long, that arm's going up, the other arm's going down. Come back to center. Do that again. The leg that's long, that arm goes up, the other arm goes down. Come back to center. Keep that really beautiful, strong frame with the arms. One more time. One arm goes up, one arm goes down. Now, no diaphragm vacuum for this one. We're just going to practice our rotation. So we're going to rotate towards the low hand. You're going to think rib cage. It's a slight turn, so it's not a huge rotation. And then you're just going to let your head turn, look to your elbow, return your head, return your ribs, return your arms. Let your hands find the chair, pivot around to the other side. We're going to practice that on the other side. Then we'll go back around and we'll add the vacuum. The vacuum creates that little bit of challenge, but it does also get that little bit of a pull on that side diaphragm. So we want to start to find that release in those in the diaphragmatic tissue. All right, get yourself set up. Now the leg that's long, that's the arm that will go up. I always have to rethink it. All right, so find your good frame. Press out into that hula hoop, low leg, that arm goes up. Come back to center. Check your frame. Keep those elbows nice and anchored outward. One arm goes up, one arm goes down. Come back in, beautiful frame with the arms, keep them nice and strong. Awesome. One more time, one arm goes up, one arm goes down. Now practice the rotation. Rotate so your heart goes slightly turned past your front knee. Turn your head so your head looks to your elbow. Head returns, rib cage returns, arms return. Woo, release your arms, come back through center, pause for a moment in your mountain pose. Nice. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, chest lifts as you look up. Exhale, lift your heart and fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches for a twist. Bring that hand down, catch the knee, bring it up to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. Release that foot down to the ground, come through mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, chest lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, soften down. Left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches for a twist. Bring that hand down, slide up the shin, bring knee to chest, bring nose to knee. Beautiful. Release that foot down. Pivot into your 90-90 lunge. Now we're going to do one cycle of breath where we go arm up, but we're going to lift. So we're going to add that strength, but not in a vacuum there. Then we'll come back down. We'll do the arms again, second breath. And then on the third breath, we'll go into the arms, create a vacuum, hold vacuum if you can, and then that light rotation. We're going to be nice and small in that rotation because it doesn't require much. So just think rib cage turns slightly past the knee, head turns slightly. So just go with that slight and subtle. Because if you get a good vacuum, you're going to feel that hollowing in your neck and your throat as well. And so when you feel that, that's good. We want that. But then we just be gentle with that head turn if we're holding the vacuum so it feels good and controlled. So we're not like yanking against our neck to learn this new technique. All right, so get your stance first. Get the frame of your arms. Make sure your feet feel nice and steady. That low leg, that arm is going to go up. So lift one arm up, one arm down. Firm feet. Hold that frame of your arms. Lift your butt up away from the chair. Hold for a second. Lower your butt back down. Let your hands come back through center. Back to those arms. Inhale. One arm goes up, one arm goes down. Exhale, bring it back in. And now this is our last cycle of breath. Check the frame of your arms. Make sure they're nice and strong. One arm goes up, one arm goes down. That's your inhale. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, close off your nose, mouth, and throat, or pinch your nose closed. Pinch your nose closed with the low hand if you can, so that you can release that hand. So pinch your nose closed. Find your abdominal vacuum. Hold vacuum if you can, and rotate. Rotate ribs. Rotate head. Return your head, return your ribs, release vacuum, bring your hands back in. All right, soften, swing it all the way around to the other side. Take a second. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So just know that it is like, and this, we're using a chair for support. So imagine what it feels like when you do this all just standing in that hovered lunge. Oh, baby, right? Okay. So reminder, leg goes long. That's the arm that's going to go up. And that just is this, there's this like fascial line extension. That's why we're doing that. It just creates this whole bit of line of length. All right. So get your frame, get nice and sturdy here. And now one arm up, one arm down. Press into your feet, lift your butt up into a hover. Lower your butt down. Bring your arms back to that center position. Check your frame. Make sure it's nice and strong. Elbows aren't dropping down. Beautiful. One arm up, one arm down. There's your inhale. Exhale, bring it back to center. All right, now we're going to go last cycle of breath, looking for our vacuum at the end of it. One arm up, one arm down. There's your inhale. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, close off your nose, mouth, and throat, or pinch your nose closed. Keep your mouth closed. Find your vacuum if you can, and then add the rotation. Hold the vacuum, rotate ribs, a slight turn of the head. Head returns to center, ribs return, arms come back down, Break that seal if you're holding that vacuum the whole time, and then swivel everything back to center. Give your legs a little windshield wiper action. And then we're going to go for a little bit of abdominal massage. So we're going to start by just taking our hands in our little fists, and we're just going to smush, 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 and let your belly be as soft as it possibly can. All right, one more little smush, 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 and we're going to keep our fists into that soft tissue of the belly. Walk your legs in a little bit closer, and then just fold over your fists. Snuggle them in, and then take 3 nice big breaths here, encouraging a softness in your belly if you can. All right, when you're ready, let your head lift up, let your heart follow. Hands are going to slide forward, catch hold of the knees, walk your feet so they're about hip width distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, tuck chin to chest. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back. One more time. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back. Now we're going to come up to a standing position to take a down dog and standing at the low side of the chair. But if tall side feels better, you can do whatever one you want, but so that we can finish with our legs up the wall again. So we're going to come up, reposition the chair. I'm going to go low side because that down dog is going to feel good for me. So a down dog where it might feel nice, right? So hands to the low side or hands to the tall side, totally up to you. Walk it back. And then once you're there, bend your knees more than you think you need to. Take one more breath. Straighten your legs just a little bit, just to feel that little bit of a tug in the backs of the legs, but not too much. And then soften, walk yourself forward. We're going to go back through that wide positioning. So you're going to step your feet so they're nice and wide. Use your chair to help support you on the way down. Lower your butt down to the ground. Keep that good wide position, frame the legs of your chair, come down onto your back. We're going to do 3 of those wide leg hip bridges again. So get comfortable, hands wherever you want them to be. On an exhale, push firm into your feet, lift your hips up away from the ground. Check your knees. We don't want them to buckle in or buckle out too much. Inhale and lower down. Exhale, lift your hips up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift your hips up. Inhale, lower down. Once you lower down, pop your feet up onto the chair, but heels close to the edge, feet in flex position. Exhale, lift your hips up. Now go for a bridge or a semi-bridge. How far up do you go comfortably? Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, lifting up. Inhale, lower down. Last one here. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower down. And then once your hips have touched down, your feet are going to soften onto the chair. So let them get as comfortable as you like. Wiggle your butt, wiggle your shoulders, get everything into that nice comfortable position. And then once you found that comfortable position, nothing else to do. All you got to do is close your eyes down or just let your eyes stare up at the ceiling. And then just let your breath come in and out. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to start to move, wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Okay, now we're going to think big good morning stretch, but we're going to add a little bit of a side bend. So you're going to take your left arm and just stretch it up above your head. And then your left arm is going to try to reach over towards that right corner of your mat. So you're going to think about keeping your back connected to the ground just as much as you can, but get that little lateral side bend. Reach towards that right corner of your mat. Take a nice big breath. All right, and then release that left hand. Right hand's going to reach up and over, taking that nice side body reach like you're reaching towards the left upper corner of your mat. Take a nice big breath. Nice. And then release back to center. And then before we come up, bring your arms into I Dream of Genie arms and just pull a little bit from side to side. One more pull from side to side, and then come up to a seat in any way that feels good. Now you can stay seated on the ground or you can come back up to your chair. There's no right or wrong. Any way that feels like a comfortable seat to sit in. And then really it's just about coming back to yourself. So take a moment to find whatever seat feels good. Go one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Close your eyes down. Take a moment, notice your breath. Take one last nice, big, deep, life affirming breath. And as you exhale, let your shoulders and your armpits soften, let your jaw soften, and think about letting go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you through the rest of your day. And then when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. You are amazing.